So I will speak about, instead of some guy, so I'm sorry who expected Ruby, I will speak about Python. Never mind. And I will speak about some library. Okay, let's start. Good old UNIX way is to not make things overcomplicated. So when you have two inspector objects, did anyone worked with script debugging in Python? No? There is no Python programmist? Okay. There is one. 1, 2, 3. Does anyone use anything for debugging, Python debugging? PyDB, WinPyDB maybe? No? IPython, great. But when you have to observe your objects in runtime and don't want to stop the script, for example, maybe it is better not to overcomplicate it. So, imagine that you can see your objects just as files. You can just mount your script. You launched the script and just mount it. We have examples in operating systems. For example, in Linux, we have proc file system, sys file system, when files are representing some internal objects of the Linux core. So, in Plan 9 operating system, we can mount window manager, we have to mount network stack, we can even mount remote network stack that's called tunneling in Linux. Okay? When you have your objects as files, you do not need API, you do not need RPC, you do not need FFI, anything else. All you want is just get, echo, touch, and so on. Nothing more, really. You have to use any shell. What the hell? Okay, I'm sorry. So when you use a Python debugger, for example, to change properties, you can do it just with changing the file. Yeah? All that you want to do is just one import string and one this import string and one decorator. That's literally all. Even function calls, we can export API as files. Nothing secret, really. We can export a function as well. And just mount. 9p is a file protocol or RPC protocol from Plan 9 operating system. Fuse is widely used in Linux. So you can even run it on Windows or like that operating system and mount anything anywhere else. We can use UNIX sockets. We can use any transport, TCP or like that, to export objects. If you miss anything in the library, you can help to implement it or just ask, at least. So, there is a lot of things that we have to do, because the library is started about a month ago, so it isn't major. So you can imagine. So let me show how it works. Here we have a small script that asks network IP stack for information about links, about addresses. All that we have to export this to the file system is just this string and just export. Oh, what the hell? And just export. Yeah, this one. So let's try. It is started and just mounted. Whoosh. Boom, 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 boom. A moment. Yeah. That's the file system representing IP stack. Actually, we can use it for representing as files anything, any Python object. Boom, ba-dum. What about functions? A little sample. I think it is easy to read, yeah? Previous sample was mounted with Pyvfs, so now we can mount it with kernel file system, for example. Here are our methods. Oh, no. Just write it, and we got some result returning from the function in the same file. Now, for example, so what if you have only functions that operating with simple strings, with simple numbers, with simple literals, or I don't know, with dictionaries of literals or like that, you can export your functions just as files, and do not use any XML RPC, any SOAP, any overcomplicated thing. Just mount and use cat, echo, anything else. This interface can be used in systems with I don't know, with limited accessibility of these interfaces, with only simple UNIX stuff. So, primarily, the library was written for VDSM daemon. VDSM is a part of OVIRT stack, some virtualization management, to represent virtual machines as files. So you can mount your virtualized machines in runtime, inspect their configuration, change it in runtime, and so on. But I think it can be used not only in virtualization. So, I'm in time. If any questions, you can ask me now or later.
Why do you go out of the process? Because you could debug in the same process. If you go out and you write code in Python,
yeah.
And then you have to use shell to manage your Python code.
Why I'm going out of the process? Because it is not only for debugging. It is for management. You can use it as interface for your script's internals, just as interface. So you cannot you cannot just ask users, for example, to use debugger to access your script's internals. You using debugger for debugging. You exports, for example, SOAP interface. But you don't know. You don't always. Not always. You want just to debug step by step. Sometimes you have to observe your internals. Monitor. Just monitor. For example, with tail, with cut. Like that. So that is then thanks, and if anything, you can yeah.
How can it handle like complex types like inheritance and these things?
Excuse me?
If you have like a complex class with many properties which are also classes, can it handle these things?
Yeah. It was written just to inspect really complicated classes, because a virtual machine in VDSM is not so simple. Here is another example, just in 2 minutes, maybe.
You have a lot of time still.
Yeah? Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, here is multicast DNS server. It is really, it has inside a lot of stuff that I think we will not read it here and don't want to read it, but we want, for example, to imagine what's going on inside the script. Okay? Here is import and just export a record. Okay. It runs, remove debug. Yeah, what the hell? So, that is 3 records inside, created by default. If there will be anything from multicast DNS in this network, it will appear shortly. I don't know. I didn't try it. But in our internal network, when we are working on Red Hat, so within 10 minutes maybe, I have a lot of records from, I don't know how to, telepathy library, that XMPP, that propagates status with multicast DNS, so I see on the file system statuses of my friends. So it can be used a little. Yes, not all the objects can be exported, because sometimes we meet some bugs. Sometimes there are some objects that cannot be literally exported, but mostly we can observe it. And the important part of to-do is to invent some export filters. For example, if you don't want to literally this view, yeah, just to export, for example, as XML files, yeah, but you don't want to integrate your script and, for example, this DNS server, just to invent it as a standalone filter and apply in runtime. But right now it works like that. For example, text. Oops, it uses by default the main screen. Okay. Right now you can read-write. You have a read-write access for literals, and if your object handles the literals change, so it can be handled. Okay. So that is.
May I ask?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better if you had like for the function you had a call and you had a last return value in two different files, for example?
Yeah, exactly. Because if you have simultaneous access to the call file, yeah, you can end up with arrays. Simple arrays. For example, the first script calls and the second script calls, I mean bash script, and the second script will, the first will read the answer for the second, and so on. Okay, it is already handled. You can read the context file. It creates by reading new call file. If you will see. So that is. Anything else?
No more questions?
So? Okay, thanks.
Thank you.